Yo, bro, I felt a bit generous today, so I'm going to show you a free module from the mini course that I'm creating about how to build a great physique as a teenager or a student who's so busy in school and have exam revision, stuff like that, and you want to still have a life. I want to show you how to build a physique no matter with all that bullshit. So enjoy this module and maybe convince you to have a free call with me or buy the rest of the course. So yeah.
Today's the only diet guide you'll ever need in your entire life. This is truly, truly impactful. Now, there is a screen on here, and the reason the screen is here is because I'm going to log into MyFitnessPal on a brand new email, on a random account, and teach you exactly how you can do it, because this is the bullshit that you're going to go through. I ask you bullshit questions that don't really matter. You're going to overthink, and it's going to be a pain in the arse. So let's teach you how to set it up properly so then you can log your food every day and also have the perfect diet you've ever wanted. Now, the diet and the nutrition is so important, mainly because it fuels your performance. Now, I want to make a preface here. Don't get too obsessed with this. As a teenager, you've not got a show to prepare for, or a student. You're too busy for this shit, effectively. You've got exams, extracurricular activities, sports. You want to still spend time with friends and be social. You want this to be like a frictionless thing that gets you towards your goals, but it's not something that has to be something fucking nail on the head perfect. Calories are never nail on the head perfect, especially when, you're starting out and you don't know how to track, and you know if you should weigh your food raw or cooked or anything like that. It's never going to be nail on the head perfect. So I wouldn't get too neurotic with this. Don't, oh my God, I've gone 50 calories over, fucking hell, I'm gonna die. No, I've gone over 50 calories over. In the week, I'm still on for a deficit and I should be okay. That's a very important mindset, actually. Don't stress too much about the day-to-day kind of deficit, right? So when you are in a calorie deficit, this is very, very true, but this can work for a bulk as well, or even maintenance, any goal that you've got. Imagine you go 100, 200 calories over, right? It's a little bit over, but like, it's not the end of the world. And you're in a deficit for the rest of the week. You're gonna still have a tainted, like, sour view of that entire week of cutting, even though for the entire week you're in a deficit. Because for 6 days of the week, you're in a 400, 500 calorie deficit. So what's that? 2,400 calorie deficit, and then one day you went 200 over, you're still in a 2,200 calorie deficit for the entire week. That's almost a pound of like weight coming off, right? So don't be obsessed over the day to day. If you've cut for 6 days really, really well, and then on the 7th day you fucked up and had like a little extra like biscuit or something, like, it's completely and utterly fine. Like, we don't want this to be neurotic and take over your entire life. That's the key. You don't want a eating disorder from this. You don't want any bullshit like that, right? Right now, you're growing. You're still getting older. You're not preparing for a show. This isn't your job. So don't get too obsessive over this. This is just a quick guideline into how to stay consistent with just eating really, really well and achieve the goals that you want. Get leaner, put on size, body, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? That's just that. This is the way forward. But this is just a preface. Don't get too caught up, but there's not also an excuse to be inconsistent, right? So let's get into it. You will be eating the same foods every day, every single day. Now, some of you may looked at me and rolled your eyes and been, oh, for fuck's sake, like, what the fuck? Good. I'm glad you feel like that, because you have probably got so many questions in your mind right now. Why are you eating the same things every day? It's so boring. Like, first of all, no, it's fucking not. It won't be boring when you look in the mirror and you've got an extra, like, 2 abs underneath the top 2 that everyone else has, right? It won't be boring when you get leaner or get a new bench PR because you've actually been taking your nutrition seriously. It won't be boring then. And also, no, it's not. Like, if you pick foods that you genuinely like and in a deficit that's genuinely maintainable, you could eat the same shit every day for like 3 or 6 months. Don't fucking lie to yourself. Yes, you can. This diet that I'm currently on right now, I've been eating the same for like 4 months on my cut, and then the one before that was like 8 months straight, no changes, nothing. So for a year, I've had 2 different types of diets. It's so maintainable. You can cook foods in different ways. You can bake a potato one day, you can cut it up into fries the next day, you can fucking make it a jacket potato the next day. Cook it in different ways, add different seasonings, but make sure the whole, like, the core of the diet is the fucking same, and that way you'll actually build consistency. The reason why it feels like you can't keep up with your own calorie tracking and keeping up with the nutrition is because it's different all the fucking time. You have variety, and that's making it 10 times fucking harder and more complex. You're waking up not knowing what to fucking eat, asking yourself, oh my god, what should I eat, right? You have 1-2 meals. It's quite easy when you've got a blank slate. But when the gaps are getting narrower and narrower, you've got 1 meal left, you've got 600 calories. You're like, oh my god, I need 50 grams of protein for 600 calories. What can I eat? What's the macros of this? What's the macros of that? How much do I have to weigh out? I don't know. And then you realize the perfect diet finally, after like an hour of fucking thought, which is like an hour of productivity just gone from your day. You've probably skipped the gym to actually fucking figure this out, right? After an hour of that, you realize, oh shit, I don't have half the ingredients in my house anyway, so I can't make it. Oh, I might as well go and eat whatever the fuck I want. And now you've missed a gym session and you've crashed out anyway. So it's fucking stupid. And also, when you don't have the clear idea of what you're going to eat, you're obviously going to grab the quick and available thing. This is another thing. When I experience a lot of cravings, which is typically because I've like opened the fridge and oh shit, there's randomly fucking my favourite snack in there because my mum decided to treat me, even though I don't really want it anyway because I want to make progress, right? That just happens when you're in a household when you're younger and you don't actually buy the food that comes into your house. When I see that, I'm like, oh shit, I really want to eat it. But if I've already got the preconceived idea that I've came downstairs to eat something specific, I won't eat it because I've already got my mind set on something else. But if I come downstairs and I'm open to the idea of eating anything and oh, I've got 600 calories, so this is fine within my calorie goal, I'll just fucking grab it. Then I'm 300 calories for a whole fucking meal left and I'm cooked. Now I'm going to be hungry and then I'm going to crash out like 2 hours later when my mate comes and picks me up and we go fucking Tesco and he gets a pick and mix and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to get one. Right? If I was full because I had a proper meal earlier, I wouldn't have got it and I would have been fine in my calorie deficit and still having a social life. But here we are because I didn't set it up correctly. So I'm going to be eating the same things every day and you're going to set it up with MyFitnessPal with me right now, right? So do I have to log in? How do I do this? I've never done this on laptop, by the way, so like I will be literally a newbie like you, don't worry. Click on this icon. I'll sign up. Continue. My first name is right. Again, this is what I was on about. Like, these questions are low-key kind of bullshit. Like, oh, your goals: lose weight, gain muscle, modify my diet. Like, again, this doesn't matter. Like, they'll try and predict your goals by answering these questions, and like they're never accurate. They're never like, oh my god, this is finally the amount of calories I needed. No, because they don't know how much you weigh, etc. Or they might ask that actually, but still, like, it's probably not accurate. In the past, what have been your barriers in weight? Did not enjoy the food. Social eating events, food cravings. Like, it doesn't matter. Pick whatever the fuck you want. Tone up. Because I want to tone the muscle by doing high reps, right? Like, no one cares. Track macros. Come on. See, like, it's all this bullshit stuff. Maybe definitely just to make sure, click active for that. But again, it doesn't really matter. Put your date of birth, don't lie. Like, it's not really that deep. How much do I weigh? 160. Like, 155. Oh shit, I don't want to enter my height, I'm a fucking short king, right? Don't make fun of me, anyone watching this. Sure, I'll lose £1 a week, whatever. And now you put in your email and shit. Now, these are the emails I've already got signed up. I'm going to use a random different email because that way I don't need to know the password. I can sign up and it's like a clean slate, right? That's like the kind of idea that I'm going for. Not now. Yeah, that can be my username, sure. Accept all, and I think we're nearly there now. This is all the bullshit that like, it's so much friction that gets you to actually start. Is all these shitty questions that don't matter. So I thought, let's answer them together. It doesn't matter, just accept it all. Oh my god, this is my calorie goal, right? I've done this 3 times. It's gave me the same calories every single time, and I've answered it randomly and differently every single time, right? So that just shows, like, it's fucking BS. But we're here. We're logged in on our brand new account. And we look down and so much shit's blurred out. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why can't I fucking track my macros? You can, it's just being a pain in the arse at the minute. So, first of all, before we log in any food, before we click on the calories and shit and all that bullshit, right? Download anything. We want to go to this bit here called goals. Now, this may be set up on phone differently. I think you can click the settings in the top left or your account in the top left and then go into goals in the top right, if I'm correct, on your phone. Figure it out. Like, it's not that difficult to understand. Like, yeah, they've changed the layout and it looks like shit and like it used to be so much better, but It is what it is, man. Jews, innit? So goals. Click on goals, right? And you've got now all of these. Your daily nutrition goals, your micronutrients, and your calories by meal. Now, I said this wasn't going to be too fucking complicated. And look at all this bullshit. It's fine. Don't worry. Ignore everything that you can't access. You will not have to pay for a single subscription when you're tracking your calories. You don't have to, right? And you could be confused about, oh my god, how am I going to hit all these micronutrients with random numbers? Don't worry, we'll figure that out, right? Because there is a way, a really easy way to hit the majority of your micronutrients without having to track anything. And plus, again, MyFitnessPal loves being like inaccurate with suggestions. So all these numbers, right, you're going to obsess over getting 100% DV of calcium, right? Which I don't even know what the fuck means. And it's probably not even going to be accurate. Like usually the dosages are either low or wrong, so don't worry, it's fine. So first of all, we're going to go into our daily nutrition goals and click edit. And this is where we're going to decide our total calorie goal and our macros, right? Look, see, you don't have to, you can still track your macronutrients without having the premium. You don't have to set by grams because it tells you the grams right here. The people that made this app genuinely fucking stupid. Anyway, because you don't have to get it to the specific gram. I hope you know this. Like when you track your calories and macronutrients, if you want to get like, let's say 130 grams of protein and you end up getting 125, that's going to make no actual difference to your physique whatsoever. As long as you get in like a within range for all of these macronutrients, maybe more so be accurate with your carbs rather than anything else. But still, if you're in like a 20 gram range for all of these macronutrients, again, you'll be absolutely fine. This is why you don't have to be neurotic about the fucking macros and calories and stuff. If you're 50 calories within range, if you're 20 grams within macro range, you're going to be completely fine, especially for protein. Like I'm going to try and get like 160 grams of protein in a day. If I get anywhere between 130 and 190, like it's completely fine. Don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be so, oh my god, I need to get the exact number. That's what scares everyone, and that's why everyone fails. If you make it actual attainable and like flexible, you'll be fine. Have a bit of nuance to your fucking nutrition, right? So how many calories do I know what to eat? Now this depends on your goal, right? But first of all, we need to find your maintenance calories. Your maintenance calories is the amount of calories you have to eat every single day to stay at the current weight that you are. That's simple. How much food do I have to eat to maintain this current physique? That's what maintenance calories is, hence the word maintenance, right? And this is based on a few things, and I'm going to teach you how to do it now. There's two ways to do it, right? You can either track exactly perfectly everything you eat for 2 weeks and then see if your weight goes up and down, and oh my god, the weight's actually gone slightly up, so my maintenance is lower than the calories I've been eating, so reduce them. Oh my god, is my weight staying the same? It's all complicated, right? It takes 2, 3, 4 weeks and it's bullshit, and you probably won't even track accurately anyway. So just do this instead, right? Open a new tab, go into Google and click calorie calculator. You can see I've searched this up quite a lot already. Calorie calculator, right? And it will come up with this website called calculator.net. Now, people are going to say, oh my god, it's not accurate. I've used it for 1 bulk and 2 cuts, and it's worked every single time. I'm like 11-12% body fat right now, and I did this by using this app right here. Now, what you can do to make sure is when it gives you your maintenance, you can then check by eating that for a week and see what happens. It just shortens the process of the previous one I talked about, but again, it's a bit shit. You can kind of just run with it and it'd be absolutely fine. If you feel like you're not losing as much weight as you like or gaining as much weight as you like because you're weighing it and you're genuinely seeing like, oh shit, you're genuinely seeing like, oh, I've not actually made any progress in my weight this week or in the 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, and then up the calories. But like, this will be pretty fucking accurate, right? So put in your age, 19, your gender, male, height, I'm 172 because I'm fucking small as shit. I'm 71 kg. If you don't understand these metrics, you can actually like change over into US or other units, like it's fine. And then exercise, this is probably the important one, right? What exercise level are you currently at? Now, I would not include cardio in this, and the pure reason for that is because you're not consistent at many habits yet. You're not actually consistent in the gym as much as you think you are. You're not actually as consistent in your nutrition as you think you are, hence why you're watching this video. You're not actually as consistent in your cardio as you think you will be when you start cardio, right? And it's all good being in a deficit and eating more because you're doing a lot of cardio. That's like the ideal scenario, right? You get to eat more in a deficit so it feels fucking easy, right? But you're not at that level yet. And 2, you won't be consistent with the cardio. So imagine if you're in a deficit, right? You're eating so many calories and you will only lose weight because you're eating so much food because of the amount of cardio that you do. Imagine you just missed the cardio in a couple of days. Imagine you go on a holiday and now you're not doing the cardio, right? But obviously there's a bit of like, oh, I'm on holiday, I can do whatever I want. But if you want to maintain your physique and it's important to you and it will make you happier if you would just rather lose the weight and continue being in a deficit, you can't stick to that cardio. So now all of a sudden you're no longer in a deficit because your calories are too high and you're not doing any cardio anymore. You're not being consistent with it. And now you're gonna be thinking, fuck, I'm gonna like, oh, I'm not losing weight. It's gonna ruin your holiday, ruin your whole texture of life, right? So you'd rather be in a deficit anyway, worst comes to worst, guaranteed, and then any cardio you do is a bonus. And then as you get more and more into a deficit, losing weight even more, then you can add cardio in as a tool. Right, but to start off, I would rather you just click active daily exercise or intense exercise 3 to 4 times a week, because that's going to cover like your training, your fitness training, your resistance training, and like any like job or whatever work you do. And then anything cardio on top of that you decide to do will be extremely beneficial and be an added bonus. That's how I'd rather you see it, right? Rather than depending on it, use it as like a tool. That's what I would definitely rather you do. You put all that in here, it says like intense exercises, 45 minutes to 120 minutes of elevated heart rate activity, 3 to 4 times a week. That's going to be your training or just walking every day, right? And click calculate, right? And this will give you your maintenance calories here. Now this is roughly accurate. Now what I would do is, because it's quite a random number, 2,627, I just round it to the nearest 50. 2,600, 2,650, right? I'm going to do 2,650 because it sounds cooler than 2,600. But again, round it to like the nearest, number. This will be now my maintenance calories. We've figured that out. Now you can go one step further and again, eat this amount of food for a week, see if you gain weight or lose weight, do whatever. It's up to you, right? But typically this is going to be pretty accurate, right? So I wouldn't worry. You've got your daily caloric intake now. That's great. Thank you. Cross. Now, oh, it's fucking changed back. What the hell? See, it might do shit. Like, it's fucking random, right? So click off it. So it's definitely set in stone. Now, what is your goal? Do you want to cut? Do you want to build as much muscle as possible? Do you want to gain weight if you're skinny? Now, what I will say is bulking will not make you more muscle. Being in a 200, 300, 400, 500 calorie surplus will not increase the amount of muscle you put on your frame. You'll get bigger, but you'll put fat on your frame, right? I fell for this last year, went on a bulk because I thought it'd build me more muscle. It fucking didn't, it made me fat. And now I had to cut so much, which is so hard. And it wasn't worth it, right? I felt like awful. I had anxiety on the bulk. I didn't really want to do it anyway. I didn't really want to have like a big bulky look. I just did it to build my muscle, and it doesn't even do that, right? The way you're going to maximize the amount of muscle growth that you have is in either a maintenance calorie, so eating that exact number that I've got here. Well, for me, it might be different for you. The number will be different for you. Or maybe a 50, 100 calories in a surplus. So imagine this was my maintenance and I wanted to build as much muscle as possible. I would maybe eat that much amount of calories a day, max. Probably actually that much every single day. Eating at maintenance or literally the tiniest amount above maintenance is going to build me the most muscle possible. Now, that's what I suggest for most people, purely because I don't want you to cut or bulk, because more likely than not, you don't have enough muscle on your frame, on your body to then actually be worthwhile cutting, right? And bulking, again, we've just spoke about, is useless. So you might as well eat a maintenance, have enough energy and food in you to build as much muscle possible. And then we can talk about cutting in like, a year, 2 years time, right? When you've actually built some fucking pretty good fucking size on your frame. This is like 4 years worth of a physique naturally, right? This shit is difficult. I'm 19, I'm not even in uni yet and I look fucking sick, right? But it's still 4 years of work, right? So yeah. But if you are on the extreme side, if you are obese, if you are overweight, then obviously go into a calorie deficit. And what I would suggest for you is, say this is my maintenance calories, just go like 2,200. Honestly, 450, 500 calorie deficit to begin as just a rough goal. It's gonna be completely fine. And then if you're happy with your weight loss, stick to it. And then if you want to increase your weight loss, go down in calories. Decrease your weight loss, you think it's too extreme, come up in calories, right? It's up to you. What I will say is this is good. Don't decrease it to like 1,800 straight away, right? Don't pick the 1,800 calories, because that's a special number that I see all the time. I've done it. Like the 2 people that I've spoke to on calls recently have done it. Like all my mates did it. 1,800 calories is like the typical number, right? is bullshit. Like, you're just not giving yourself enough food to have good training sessions, so you'll get skinny, but not actually fucking muscle, right? When you're not giving yourself enough food, this is the problem. People confuse weight loss, and like, this is why people can't build muscle on a cut. You can, you're just depriving yourself of that much fucking calories that you can't fuel your sessions, and now your performances is shite, and of course you're gonna not build muscle, right? That's why when people bulk, they build more muscle. No, you don't. You just finally have given yourself enough food to train properly. Like, it's ridiculous. If you eat a maintenance, even slightly below maintenance, in it like a slow cut, you will still have enough energy, be able to have enough carbs to have a really good session. So you can build the muscle on a cut, a bulk, or a maintenance phase. You just need to make sure that you have enough food and carbohydrates to fuel your very, very good performances, enough fats to have like hormone function, enough protein to actually, you know, utilize it, right? So that's the point. Now, if you want to go in a bulk, this is for the very rare people that feel anorexic or feel very, very skinny, and you feel like you need to put frame onto your size. The maximum I want you to bulk is this, right? My maintenance is 2650, and your maintenance is the same as mine. The maximum calories I want you to be on to bulk is 2800. 2800, 150, 200 above your caloric maintenance, because anything above that is going to make no difference. You're going to put fat on way too fast. It's going to get out of control. And again, like we said, bulking doesn't build more muscle. So there's actually no point to it whatsoever, right? So I would very, very, very rarely recommend this type of bulk. I would much rather you just be on 2700, slightly above maintenance, in like the slightest calorie surplus ever to build as much muscle as possible. Now, you could even eat at maintenance, but I just add like 50 calories just to like guarantee you're getting enough energy in. And like the days where you accidentally eat a little bit less is not as bad because you've allocated a little bit of extra calories. I know 50 doesn't make a difference, doesn't make much of a difference, but it's some marginal gains that you might see, and it will give you a bit of security. So it does make a difference in the end, right? So that's what I would suggest for most people. If you want to build as much muscle as possible, 50 calories above maintenance, that's exactly where you want to be. So, but for me, I'm cutting, right? I bulked and I was in an extreme calorie deficit because I wanted to recover from my bulk. So this is where I'm at, a 500 calorie deficit. Bear in mind, like, it's probably sometimes a bit lower than this because I've been cutting for a while. So if there's something that you don't know, is that if you are cutting, if you are trying to gain weight, as you make a little bit of progress, as you cut or bulk, either way, you will then, let's do it in cutting terms, I think it's easier to understand. You're losing weight, right? You're at a certain weight, you've picked a deficit, 400, 500 calories in a deficit, you're losing weight, right? You will lose 4, 5, 8, 10 pounds, right? And then you'll step on the scale and go, oh, the weight's not moved for a while. What the fuck's that? It's because, you know how we went on calorie calculator here and we found your maintenance, and one of the categories here was weight. If my weight, let me put in something, right? So let me put in the same metrics here, right? The exact same, right? Still 172 centimeters, still active daily exercise, right? But I put 80 kilo instead of 71. That's not right. The fuck? Oh, that's why I put my height as ridiculous, right? I was like, what the fuck? You said 172, right? And put it in. The only difference is that my weight is going to be kilo. My maintenance is 150 calories higher than it was before. The reason is because as you weigh more, your body then requires more food to stay at that weight. Your maintenance goes up. So if you're losing weight and your weight is going down, your maintenance is also going down as well because you're losing weight. You now have less mass to account for, less food, less energy, less calories is now needed to keep that same weight. So as you make progress in this journey, you will continue to lose weight and lose weight and lose weight. Your maintenance will also decrease with that. So then you have to either up your activity or reduce your calories as a result to then stay in that same deficit. You understand? So that's why people are in deficits usually for so long periods of time, because a deficit will naturally decrease because of this fact of like their maintenance is going down. Because if they just kept reducing their calories forever, they wouldn't be able to maintain it, right? So that's why my calories are like super, super low at the minute. Because one, I'm quite a small individual in terms of height and size and weight, but also because I've been in a deficit for a while, so I have to keep decreasing the amount of intake that I have, increasing my cardio so I can maintain a pretty decent deficit that deep into a cut, right? But you figured out your calorie goal. You know where you want to get to. You figured out your calorie goal. Now, what do we do with our macronutrients? Now, it's literally just as simple as it's a couple of equations. Figure out your body weight. Now, my body weight is 71 kg, and I know the conversions of macros into pounds. So figure out your body weight in pounds. So 71 kg, it's a literal quick Google search, 71 kg into pounds is 156 pounds. Now, we'll start off with protein because that's what everyone fucking talks about. How much protein should I get if I weigh 156 pounds? Now, it's anywhere between 0.8 grams per pound to 1 gram per pound. Just general kind of advice here. So if I weigh 156.5 pounds, I should get anywhere between 0.8 times 156. Sorry, I didn't put my time symbol in there. Right? Anywhere from this number, 125, to 156 times by 1. Because remember, 0.8 to 1 gram per pound. If you weigh that many pounds, this many grams of protein. So anywhere between 25 to 156. Round it up to make it easy. Anywhere from 130 to 160 grams of protein is going to be absolutely ideal for you, right? And oh my god, we don't have the paid version, so how are we going to set it by grams? Just set it as a percentage, right? So look, 20% of my diet is going to come from protein, and look, it's 105 grams. That seems a bit low. Remember, I wanted it to be between 130 and 160. So let's go up to 25%. Oh, it's literally just in that range, 130. That's perfect, right? Let's go up to 30%, see how big it is. Oh, it's 158 grams. That's perfect as well. Now, I would rather you, if you find here, like we've got 2 percentages that fit within our range, I'd pick the lowest one. I genuinely would. I would pick the lowest one. Pick about as low as possible the protein as you possibly can to hit your goal, because then it allocates and allows you to allocate more calories to your carbohydrates, which is much more important to fuel your sessions and actually show that you're having good performance and building more muscle. Fat is another equation. Fat is 0.3 grams per pound of body weight. So if you're 156 pound in body weight, you want 0.3 grams per pound. So that's why you do the 0.3 or 0.4 to you. I do 0.3 times how much you weigh. And that'll be 46.8, around 50 grams of fat is going to be ideal. So now you come back, you click the percentage, and you find the percentage that gives you 50 grams. 15%, oh, that's a bit low, 35. 20, 47 grams, what did we want? 47 grams, that's literally perfect. Ideal, right? Great, awesome. And now you allocate the rest of the percentage to the carbohydrates. You want to get the perfect protein, like the minimal effective dose of protein, minimal effective dose of fat, and allocate as much as possible as you can to carbs. And look, 2100 calories, you're getting 300 grams of carbs. No one else can do that, right? And that's because you've allocated as much as possible to your carbs while still getting optimal other macronutrients as well. And then save your changes. So now you know how many grams of each macronutrient that you can have. If you get anywhere in between like 280 and 300 for carbs, 40 and 60 for fats, and 110 to 150 grams of protein, you'll be absolutely fine. Don't stress over it. Remember, you're gonna like be neurotic about this. Don't. It's not gonna make a difference, right? Just as long as you get your nutrition in check on the whole and have these to go off of, and you've got these targets already, you're gonna be fine. And now you've got your little goals, you come back onto home, and you just make sure that you saved it and it's coming up here 2100 and it's like ready to go, right? You just make sure that's happened. And once you've done that, now you will do nothing else. You don't need to check the check-ins, the mail, the profile. Don't set up any of that bullshit. It doesn't matter. Go on to food. That's all you need is the goals, and then you come on to food, and this is how we do it, right? Look, you've got your daily goal and all your macronutrient goals down here. Ignore the sodium and the sugar. It doesn't really matter, okay? We're going to hit all of our macronutrients together. Now, you're quick to worry about micronutrients. You're quick to like, oh my God, how am I going to fucking hit all of my macronutrients? Bro, you can't even be consistent in the gym. You can't even be consistent in cardio. That's why we fucking did the step before about doing the activity level at such a low level, because you can't stay consistent with cardio. Like, stop worrying about your macronutrients for a start. This is you getting neurotic again and trying to optimize everything. Remember how that turns out? Not very well, not very sustainable, right? But there is a way that you are going to hit them all, which is quite cool. But basically, when you're setting up your diet, I want you to ask you one question before we start anything. What foods do you have access to, and what can you fucking cook? Because look, one, if you're a student, you don't have a lot of money, so you can't buy any food that you set out to buy. If you put fucking caviar at lunch and you can only afford caviar on odd occasion or not at all, you're not going to stick to a diet, are you? Because again, we're going to be eating these foods every day. So you need to make sure that you can buy these either in bulk or constantly every day so that you can eat and stick to your fucking diet whilst it not feeling like a full-time job. If you live at home or you're still in school and you still live with your parents buy the food. So you don't have control over what's coming in and out, right? You don't have control. It's like the fucking USA border. You don't know what the fuck's going on, right? So like fucking Isle of Wight. Like fucking dinghies are coming in constantly, but you don't know what the fuck it is, right? You don't know what the fuck's coming in your fucking country. You don't know what food's in your house, right? So you need to make do with what you've got, effectively. So think to yourself right now, what foods do you have that you have in your house that you can cook? So don't put fucking steak in. Don't put 8 ounce fucking rump steak for breakfast because you think you're gonna eat on a fucking chopping board, right? And like, oh my god, yeah, rump steak, bro, because I'm red meat and I'm a fucking man, right? And it's like, you go down and, you know, you search it and it's like, oh my god, the macros are really good. 100 grams for 125 calories. That's fucking insane. What the hell? Like, click on it. Yeah, I want 200 grams of that, please. Thank you. Oh my god, yeah, let's go. 2 servings of that. Add to my food diary. I'm being so productive, right? You add it to your food diary. You go downstairs. I'm ready for my first meal. I was wiped. Oh my god, there's no steak in. Oh my god, I don't even know how to cook it. What the hell? How do I cook it? Oh my god, I'm just gonna eat whatever is in the freezer and boom, crashed out. So let's get rid of that. Think about food that you have accessible to you and that you can cook, and then just go from there. So I'll show you a quick meal that I will make, right? And then I'll show you how to structure the rest of your diet from there. So a quick meal that I would make is raw white potatoes. Potatoes are very good, especially on a cut, because potatoes, sorry, I can't spell and type it, it sounds weird. But potatoes are very good on the cut because they're very high in satiety when you boil them, right? Which means that they will keep you full for longer. And they're also high in volume and really good carbs. So we talked about carbs being good, important, hit your carb goal. But also, they're very, very voluminous. So you can see 100 grams is 82 calories. You can eat a lot of this food for not much caloric intake, which is going to be very, very important for you on a cut. And I will have 350 grams of white raw potato. Now you say, why did you make it raw, right? Why is it raw? You want to weigh all of your food raw. You want to track all of your food raw. And the reason is because when you cook this food, no matter if you air fry it, cook it, put it in oil, put it in the oven, put it in the microwave, it's all going to cook differently and come out in a different kind of way. It might take up water. It might, when you like boil it, it might dehydrate it when you put it in the air fryer. So even if you put 350 grams of potatoes, right, into an air fryer or into a microwave or into an oven, it's going to come out a way differently, right? So if you weigh it raw, you can then have a consistent way to track exactly what you're getting every single time, rather than weighing it cooked and then figure out, oh my god, I cooked it this way, so I have to put it in MyFitnessPal this way. Just weigh it raw before you cook it as you're preparing the meal, and you'll be absolutely fine. That's exactly the most accurate way and way to track all of your food, right? So I'll have white potatoes. I want a portion of fish. I suggest that you get 1 portion of red meat, 1 portion of white meat, 1 portion of fish throughout your entire diet. Just something, not necessarily a portion, don't obsess over the size of it, but as long as you're getting something in of it, you're going to then hit your micronutrients, basically. So the way I get fish in is this tuna pasta. That's literally the easiest way that I do it. Now, is it going to come up and allow me to search? Here it is. So half a tin of tuna for me, I check the labels. I would specifically like search things by brand, because as you can see, like, look, there's so many options. That's why I clicked the Tesco option for potatoes, because I get my potatoes from Tesco. And what you can do as well is you can check the back of the packaging of the food that you're eating and make sure it matches correctly with the, you know, MyFitnessPal calories. So if I had this bottle of water, right, obviously water has 0 calories, I'm not an idiot, but imagine this had calories in it. What I would do is, like, as I would be preparing it, or maybe setting up my diet for the first time, as you may be doing right now, I'd look at the back of the package and I'd say, oh my god, this packet of tuna or whatever tin has 102 grams drained, because obviously drain the fucking tuna, you absolute weirdo. And then, oh my god, it's got 110 calories for the whole tin, right? So if I have half, it's going to be 55 calories when it's drained. So now let me go in here and find the can of tuna that is 55 calories. So, oh my god, look, 102 grams drain is 109, basically 110 calories. Let me click that, right? And I'm having half a tin, so let me put half a serving in. All right, that's the exact like amount of calories, and that's the exact one because it's the Morrison's brand, rather than clicking the other one that says 130 calories, incorrectly counting it and like starving yourself, and it feels really hard when in reality you just count it wrong or something like that, you know? So make sure you go through by the brand. Again, another example of going by the brand. I have lighter than light mayo, which is actually a hack because it's 1 calorie per gram of sauce, and that's actually quite hard to find for things that aren't hot sauce to take your fucking gob off. So go through that, lighter than light sauce. It's gonna let me search. Thank you. And I know mine's the Bramwell's version, so, or Hellmann's, or something like that, right? Hellmann's, there we go, Hellmann's. That's my version, so I know that. I'll have like 15 grams, fine, great, awesome. And then you go through and you add your food to the things you eat. You kind of like have some creativity with it, know what you can make, and then just make it enjoyable. Like imagine what food you'd like and just pick the shit you like, right? And continue. You don't have to be super precise with the amounts right now. Just click like, just have a guess because you don't know how much shit's gonna be, especially when you're trying to decide the first meal. We'll clean that up all later. And you go through and you add all your foods, cucumber. Now, be sure to add a cup of vegetables and fruits throughout the day, preferably a cup of vegetables for every meal and then a cup or two of fruits a day. That's what I would go for. So a cup is around 50 grams, by the way, around that. So this one's probably right. It is a cup. I don't like to measure in cup. I like to measure in grams, but a cup is like 50 grams. So if you try and have around 50 grams of fruit and veg per meal, you're going to hit your macronutrients. 100, 150, 200 grams of fruit, 100, 150, 200 grams of veg per day, you're going to hit your macronutrients perfectly fine. So add that to my food diary. Awesome. Come back down. I'll have a bit of lettuce with my cucumber because I like it like that, you know. This is what I like to do. I like that food. It's very voluminous. Like, let's go. You log it all. You do it all, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, I'll add a bit of sweet corn in there as well because why not? Like, you know, let's make the meal nice, okay? So you've made your first meal. This is the good part, right? Right, you've done your first meal. That's my first meal set up. I've got, you know, 416 calories total, 73 grams of carbs, 22 grams of protein. That's a nice little calorically balanced meal. Not much fat, but it's fine, right? And you do the rest with all the rest of the meals, include, again, the 1 fish, 1 red meat, 1 white meat. So tuna, chicken, and mincemeat is what I do. It can be very easy if you have that in your house. If you don't have like 1 white meat and 1 red meat and you can only have chicken twice a day, have chicken, man. It's going to be better for you to take a bit of an L on the micronutrients and take a bit more of a W on the consistency side by the fact that you have that meal in your house. So take an L, it's not that deep, right? Don't think about it. It doesn't have to be that neurotic again. As long as you're hitting your protein macros through whole foods effectively, it's going to be fucking fine, right? So do that. If you have to take an L on the micronutrients because you only have chicken, take the L, but fill out the rest of the meals. What I will say is have your, again, them foods, fish, white meat, red meat, have a couple of cups of fruit and veg, a few cups of, a cup or two of veg, a cup or two of fruit. And then what I will say is have eggs as well. 2 to 3 eggs per day, absolute fucking minimum. Fit them into your meals however you like. If you don't like eggs, put it in a fucking drink and like put sweetener in it or something. What I like to do is if you don't like eggs, I don't know how you don't like eggs. I think they're fucking gorgeous. But what I will say is scoop of protein, scoop of like a bit of milk. Make sure the protein's nice if you have to. Put a couple of eggs in there, whisk it up, like blend it and then drink it. Because like the micronutrient like availability in eggs is so valuable. You're going to hit all your macronutrients when you include eggs in your diet. So that's it. Literally 1 of every type of meat, fruit and veg and eggs. And like you will hit every single macronutrient. It's insane. But you play around with the meals just like I did here until you then come up to your caloric goal and fat, protein, carb goals as well. This may take a while. This may take a bit of fiddling, a bit of nuance to be able to get that perfectly, but take the time. This is a 40-minute video, right? Rewatch it. Make sure you've taken everything and watched the rest of the course and play around with MyFitnessPal until you get the desired results you want, right? On my other email, I could show you an example. Can I log in as someone else? If I can log in and, or log out, sorry, and log back in on my old email, I can show you a perfect example. Oh, I can, that's great. See if I remember my password, that would be a fucking shout. Yeah, I don't want to kind of expose my own password, so we'll try and do that without. Usually I would just, Watch me get it wrong. Wrong. Fuck! Alright, 1 second. I'll need to figure that out. It's embarrassing. But yeah, there we go. Should be fine now. Anyway, I'll show you a perfect example, right? So 2,000 calories, there we go. That's pretty close, right? And I go into my foods. And this is exactly what it would look like. Now accept and continue. Just let me fucking see. Let me see, bro. Like, what the fuck is it doing? And then let's go back to the 20th. Did we do this accurately? We did, right? Look, see. 12 calories over, 1 gram of protein over, 3 grams left of fat, 7 grams of protein over, hitting my sodium, hitting my sugar, right? And like all the macronutrients are being probably hit, right? That's kind of what you want to look like. You want it to play around with it until like you figured out the pivot thing. Now, obviously, I've got a load of shit here. I've got like seasoning and stuff because I wanted to be quite serious on my cut and I was quite deep into my fitness journey. I really wanted to take it seriously. So everything's very precise here. You don't have to go that precise, but just playing around with it until it looks something like that at the end is going to be ideal. And then the only thing left is carb timing. Make sure you're timing the majority of your carbohydrates, especially if you're in a deficit around your training. You want to get around 30 to 50 grams of carbs about an hour and a half, an hour, half an hour before your training. And it depends on the type of carbs that you're consuming. If you're having potatoes, bread, these kind of big foods, these foods that take longer to digest, before pasta, another one, rice, another one, before your training, have it a little bit earlier so it can actually digest properly, right? An hour and a half, an hour before your training, have some sort of 30 to 50 grams of carbohydrates. So what that looks like as a little comparison is 325 grams of potato is 57 grams of carbs. So 300 grams of potatoes, 200 grams of potatoes, like 5 rice cakes, I think it is, like 200 grams of rice, something around that point will allow you to have enough carbs to then fuel your session. If you're having something like rice cakes or like sweets, like Sour Patch Kids are quite fast digesting carbs. Because these digest a bit quicker, have these an hour to half an hour before your session. Couple this with a bit of caffeine, because again, caffeine takes time to get into your bloodstream. Most people think you get energy from caffeine as soon as you drink it. You don't, right? This is why people shoot meth, by the way. This is why people shoot them into their bloodstream, because if you smoke it or if you parachute it, which is where you put it into like a napkin and you swallow it, if you do that, it takes time for it to get in the bloodstream. The high is not as powerful. If you inject it straight into the veins, it's the most powerful high and it happens instantly, right? Caffeine and carbs are like that, where it takes time to actually get into your bloodstream to be utilized in your training. So you have to have it an hour and a half, an hour before. And then have like a big carb meal after the gym. So I will come back from the gym typically and I'd have probably this carb meal here. How many carbs does this have? 70 grams of carbs, right? So have some, or 86 grams of carbs. This is the one that I have after the gym actually, right? So if you're having anywhere between 70 to 100 grams of carbs an hour and a half after the gym, this is going to replenish your glycogen stores, have a lot of carbohydrates so that you can then recover really well. And that's actually where you build the muscle, by the way. You're in the recovery process, so that's why that's so important. You're very, very nutrient, what's that word? Susceptible to nutrients. You could take up nutrients really, really well when you do this, right? So carb timing. Get the perfect diet like this. It may take you half an hour, and eat it every single day. And there's a cool feature as well, by the way. Let's say you're on, that was Wednesday, May the 20th, right? And today is the 26th, I believe. Today is the 26th. You go into the 26th and you've got nothing in. You've just woken up, you're ready to make your first meal. Like, how do I make it quick? You can go into quick tools here and you can copy from a date. So copy from the 20th this meal, and that meal that you made, maybe this is for you, is yesterday, right? So obviously it's not going to be the 20th of May for you, but let's say yesterday you ate the diet really well and today you want to eat the same thing. Copy from yesterday and the same shit will come out straight away. You don't have to log it individually all the time. You can copy from yesterday, which is quite a good addition actually. Just do that every day. Stay consistent on the diet, the same diet every day. Time your carbs well, have great sessions, make sure that you're having enough carbs in the first place. That's going to be the most vital thing. And watch your reps in the gym always go up. You'll constantly hit progressive overload. It will never come down. You'll never lose motivation. You're going to build as much muscle as possible, no matter in a deficit, a maintenance phase, or a bulk, when you have enough carbs and at the right time, right? Cutting doesn't lose muscle, bulking doesn't build muscle, right? You can make it the most likely or more consistent that you get enough carbs, enough energy when you eat at maintenance, right? But if you can do this, time your carbs really well, you can be in a deficit and build muscle. which is truly powerful, and not many people know how to do that. So that's the perfect guide for your diet. Find the perfect diet for you. Hit all your macronutrients by having fish, red meat, white meat, veg, a couple of cups, 200 grams, fruit, a couple of cups, 200 grams, a few eggs. Boom, done. Figure it out. Figure out the macronutrients that are going to be perfect for you. And then from there, eat it at the same time, same day, every single day. Get into a habit, it becomes autonomous, and you won't even have to think about being consistent on the diet anymore. You won't even think about the craving, because you will know, right? This is what I eat at this time, this is what I do. The craving all of a sudden doesn't even enter my mind, because, you know, sometimes it will, sometimes you have to, like, you know, manually just be like, all right, no craving. But majority of the time you will get less cravings because you'll be so used to eating certain foods at certain times. Variety is making you more susceptible to cravings, by the way. Right? You can cook these in different ways. It doesn't get boring. You time your carbs really well, and you will get extremely jacked. That's the perfect diet that I would recommend, and that's exactly how you're going to finally get consistent with your nutrition. It's so powerful.